Every day on this channel, we go through everything that the president talked about on Truth Social and his personal account without a political bias or narrative. I'm your host, Isaac, and let's get right into it. All right, and the big news from today is this quote from Trump that says, "Governor Tim Walz called me with the request to work together with respect to Minnesota. It was a very good call, and we actually seem to be on a similar wavelength. I told Governor Walz that I would have Tom Homan call him, and that what we're looking for are any and all criminals that they have in their possession. The governor very respectfully understood that, and I will be speaking to him in the near future. He was happy that Tom Homan was going to Minnesota, and so am I. We've had such a tremendous success in Washington, D.C., Memphis, Tennessee, and New Orleans, Louisiana, and virtually every other place that we have touched, and even in Minnesota, crime is way down. But both Governor Walz and I want to make it better." President Donald J. Trump. And Trump says he's sending Tom Homan to Minnesota tonight. He has not been involved in that area, but knows and likes many of the people there. Tom is tough but fair, and will report directly to me. Separately, a major investigation is going on with respect to the massive $20 billion plus welfare fraud that has taken place in Minnesota, and is at least partially responsible for the violent, organized protests going on in the streets. Additionally, the DOJ and Congress are looking at Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who left Somalia with nothing, and is now reportedly worth more than $44 million. Time will tell all. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And the White House quoted this, and this got a repost by Trump. And so this is a big development, but it doesn't look like Walz is out of hot water, because the White House called him out today, saying dangerous anti-ICE rhetoric from Mayor Frey and Governor Walz, along with sanctuary city defiance, hasn't protected anyone, only fueled chaos and cost American lives. Dems have reportedly chosen criminal illegals over law-abiding citizens, manufacturing danger. Enough is enough. And they shared this video from NBC News.
In Minneapolis, we will not cooperate with ICE or any federal agency.
What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. These Border Patrol officers
Of course, I bear responsibility to bring down the temperature.
to ICE, get the out of this.
Sure, that's part of my role as mayor. And by the way, protests here in Minneapolis are peaceful.
The desire to get out and protest and speak up to this administration of how wrong this is, that is a patriotic duty. That is a patriotic duty.
We have had perhaps tens of thousands of people peacefully protesting. Yeah, they are going to stand up for their neighbors.
The human desire to lash out in this moment is very real. And from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government.
And Trump reposted that video. It seems to show conflicting messages from Governor Walz, who's now saying that he wants to work with President Trump. So I'm curious, do you guys think Walz is genuine? Do you think Trump is bluffing? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Oh, and the White House reposted that quote about Governor Tim Walz calling Trump with the request to work together with respect to Minnesota, sharing this picture of Trump, and Trump reposted that. And the White House also shared this video that details how Joe Biden and the Democrats' failed leadership opened the door to an invasion by millions of illegal criminals, tragically costing innocent Americans their lives. They say ICE is going after the worst of the worst, violent criminals who never should have been there in the first place. And I'm not going to show the video, it is a little violent. It details some pretty serious rape cases with children, but we're seeing the administration shift their rhetoric to this phrase, worst of the worst, talking about how ICE is now going after the worst of the worst rather than just any illegal immigrant. And yesterday, Trump talked about how Minnesota and other sanctuary cities are obstructing this because they're not giving them access to their prisons. So I'm curious, do you think the administration is genuine? Are they actually going after the worst of the worst? And Trump provides an update on Don Lemon. He says appeals courts finds evidence to charge Don Lemon over church protest, but won't force arrest warrant. And this is probably for Don Lemon when he went into the church and interviewed people. People are saying that he violated the FACE Act by being in that protest. And here's some more breaking news for you guys on the foreign policy front. Donald Trump says he just recovered the last hostage body in Gaza, thus got back all 20 of the living hostages and all of the dead. He says, amazing job. Most thought of it as an impossible thing to do. Congratulations to my great team of champions. And this was shared by the White House account. And Trump today provides an update on the Trump Kennedy Center as it is suffering criticism. Trump says people don't realize that the Trump Kennedy Center suffered massive deficits for many years, and like everything else, I merely came in to save it, and if possible, make it far better than ever before. And Donald Trump shares New York City in a slightly different time. He says, never forget. I'll show highlights of this, but it has copyrighted music, so I can't show the entire video. But you can see everyone is just dressed up so nicely. They're all wearing very, very nice coats. And look at all these handsome men wearing trench coats and top hats. And finally, Trump says, I can't watch the new NFL kickoff. Like many others, I just turn my head. Who has the right to make such a change? So disparaging to the game. The original was big time, strong, glamorous, and exciting. The ridiculous new kickoff rule takes away the prestige and power of the game. And Trump says, I hope college football doesn't follow suit. And I wanted to know what rule this is referring to. It's referring to the NFL 2024's dynamic kickoff rule, which repositions 10 return team players in the setup area to reduce high-speed collisions, achieving a 43% concussion drop per league data, but altering the play's traditional intensity. Okay, and so that was everything that Donald Trump talked about today. We got to see him say that Tim Walz called him to work together on immigration. So we'll get to see if he gives them access to prisons and goes against sanctuary city policy. We also saw him provide an update on Don Lemon, saying that they're bringing charges but nothing's been really pursued. We saw him talk about Israel, how they got the very last dead body hostage in Israel, and he congratulates his team. And finally, we got to see some lighter news about Donald Trump calling out the NFL and sharing some interesting videos about the way people dress in New York City back in the day. I appreciate all the support in the last couple of videos, and as always, if you want to continue to support the channel, consider subscribing, and I am out.